Everyone, we are live. We are live.
We're doing it live right in the middle of the internet.
Right in the middle of
Yeah.
right there, whatever the middle is. This is it. I'm doing okay. Cindy
I'm
Plaza.
doing it live, and I just dropped my pants just to make it more interesting.
I do not need to know that.
I'll be gone for 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you. I'll be back.
Very good.
So yeah. So this is a thing. 7:30 in the morning, right? Yeah.
Mr. Tobin looks so cold. I hope it's not freezing over there.
It's still cold over there, Tobin.
And he
I think we got a little bit of cold weather for a little bit.
Well, we have a little bit of cold weather for a long bit. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, Massachusetts doesn't get off easy, right? You guys get plenty of snow, don't you?
Yeah. We really don't get hurricanes. We don't get earthquakes, but we do get cold weather and snow. That's what we get. And right now, it's not that bad. Right now, I shouldn't be crying and complaining about this. It's going to be in the 40s today, which is considered to be pretty warm for this time of year. So,
by the way, I wanted to ask, you guys often talk about northeasters in your part of the world. Does that mean that the weather is coming from the northeast or is blowing towards the northeast?
It's coming from, I think it's from there, which I guess is the northeast. That's where it comes sweeps in. I blame Canada.
Sure.
I blame Canada.
Everyone should always blame Canada.
Yes.
Sammy. Canada and the French.
More specifically, we should blame Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
By the way, wonderful visuals there, 420.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that is brilliant.
If I may ask,
it's a permanent thing.
Yes. Okay. Well, that wonderful bit of software we were introduced, where you appeared as a kangaroo. I tried to install it and it wouldn't work. And I couldn't tell where the files for Zebra were supposed to go. They had special Zebra files. And
was it?
You know what? Maybe this is
actually.
Pardon me?
So the problem with it, if you did get the same app that I've got, the same software, it doesn't want anything that can use your camera to be open when you run it. So you have to shut down Chrome or Google or whatever browser you've got, open the app, and then open your browser and go to StreamYard. For it to be able to find your camera. Otherwise, it just says camera not found and just
I didn't have that problem, but okay. Sorry, you know what? I shouldn't have brought this up. I should have put it into private chat. I guess people shouldn't have to listen to my computer problems.
No. We're here to listen to problems.
Okay.
Or not.
Well, I have this
really
wart on my butt, which is really itchy.
It should be as simple as opening the app and literally underneath your camera screen, you can see yourself on camera is a little search bar, and you would just type Zebra, and all the Zebra filters would come up. So
interesting. Okay. Thank you kindly.
Zebra, really? Is that how we're pronouncing that word?
Right.
Should pronounce it like Americans. Zebra.
Correct.
The Americans don't use the word Z for the letter Z.
No.
They insist on calling it Z.
That's right. That's how Jesus wrote it in the King James Bible. Z. It's right there.
Sorry, I'm English. We get to make the rules. We get to make the language. It's Z. Sorry.
You people, just because just because the language is named after you doesn't mean.
I know you made it better. I know.
Doesn't mean like you're the king of English.
Yeah. The Oscar Wilde once said that America and the United Kingdom were two people separated by a common language.
I don't know if that was. I don't know if that was wild.
I thought it
Um,
was.
I think that was somebody who was significantly less cool. I think, um, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just misremembering, which isn't really a word. But two
Maybe it's
people.
been, hey, there's 420. Well done. That's really good. What happens when you talk? There you go.
Something along these lines.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
You have got to get that working, Steve. That would be brilliant.
Wouldn't it, though?
George Bernard Shaw wrote that.
Okay.
Two nations separated by a common language. George Bernard Shaw, the playwright. So there we go, everyone.
I know a funny fact about George Bernard Shaw.
Oh, really?
When
That
he
he
was a
wrote that he
young
said
man.
that. I'm sorry. I was
Oh,
gonna
sorry, I talked over you, and that would have been a great joke.
no, that's okay.
George Bernard Shaw, when he was a young man, got to his first chance to look at a beautiful naked woman, and when he saw pubic hair, he panicked and sort of ran away. Wasn't expecting it.
I just want to talk about Sammy and the one eye of Sauron that I can see. I understand. because I was looking up George Bernard Shaw, and then I just look up and I see the one eye of the zebra there, the zebra, right?
Mm.
Yeah, some filters don't seem to like my aspect ratio.
Can you just say hello to Wildine and everyone in chat? I'm not
Yes.
logged into my
Wow,
proper
you
account, so I can't type in text, but hello. Jeez.
So yeah, the world has COVID right now. The parts of the company that I'm working for, they just shut down because they've just lost so many people with COVID. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a small office. It's a small number of people working there. So if you lose like 5 or 6, it's significant. So like I said in the first show, I wouldn't be surprised if the whole place shuts down for like a week or so. But we'll see what happens.
That's difficult. Don't you guys care for very vulnerable people?
Well, you see, my new job, because I was working and I had been working for people with disabilities for, I don't know, 25 years. I guess it's like been 25 years. But the new job is like I've had it for like 3 months or so. It is doing courier services for basically DNA sampling. So I get to drive around the city of Boston and the surrounding areas and just pick up samples, deliver primers for DNA sampling. And so it's a relatively easy job. That's why I can do this and everything else I do, because it's a relatively easy job.
In Australia, we use the word courier instead of prostitute.
Really?
Oh, come on. Does that mean your prostitutes deliver?
Well, see, we're talking there's probably a price bar where they go from prostitute to courier. See, couriers cost a lot more, and
so they're like
often escorts. Yes,
maybe you could. Prostitutes could also be called Times New Roman.
I see what
That's
you
a
did.
font joke. People familiar with fonts might find that funny, maybe not. Maybe not funny at all.
I'm laughing in here.
Yeah.
Right here. I'm tapping in my heart at my,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
so.
really.
No, I've never heard of the term courier for escorts. That's interesting.
What do you call your prostitutes, 420?
I
match.
When I get my first prostitute, I'll let you know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we were watching, the girlfriend and I, we were watching the show Catfish. I don't know if you are acquainted with Catfish. And if you haven't watched Catfish, it is a great way to learn basic skepticism 101 about how, because on Catfish, I'm sure most of you know about what the term means at this point. that you get to see people make horrible decisions based on really bad data analysis.
Mm.
I don't forget where, because it's only 7:30. I've only had one cup of coffee. I have no idea where I was going with that. But no, we were watching Catfish last night, and I don't know. Yeah, I just lost it. I just lost the thought. Too early, everyone. This is too early. I have to completely shift my whole brain into early morning mode, and I am not there.
Did it involve the catfishing of prostitutes? Because that would link up.
Oh, there was a gentleman. This is what happened. All right. So this is a gentleman a young guy who was getting paid or being sent money by a patron, well, not even a patron, just someone who was really into him. And I turned to my girlfriend. It's like, I wonder if he realizes he's a sex worker. Because sex worker is a pretty broad term, right? You can do a variety of different types of work that don't involve. Like you can argue that people on OnlyFans do a certain type of sex work. You can argue that it's a broad term. It's like a broad term.
Strippers, prostitutes. Yeah.
I can hear my echo.
Sorry, that's me.
Okay. So yeah, and one of the hosts of Catfish is Going made the point that he was basically in the sex worker business.
Mm. Did he make a lot of money?
He did.
Wow, this is sounding better.
And the man just, is an idiot. And so his girlfriend knew about it and didn't like it. So it was the typical kind of drama that you would expect from that kind of show.
Yes. I was a professional catfisher for a while, but I guess you guys remember the story behind that.
I do.
Maybe I shouldn't mention it though.
You shouldn't mention it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because even though we have five dudes on this show, I don't think it should devolve automatically into talking about that kind of stuff, right? I mean,
yes, but no sexual activity was involved though.
That's good. I'm happy for all parties involved.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's what.
I saw that Governor Cuomo had charges dropped.
I wonder if that was part of a deal. I wonder if that was part of a backdoor deal. I'm not one given to conspiracy theories, but I was watching that on the news last night. I'm thinking that smells like a deal. Like, you step down, we won't charge you with criminal charge.
And they waited to drop the charges to make it look like it wasn't related.
Yeah. I'm. It smells. It smells. That's what it does.
Mm.
Let me know if Echo's still there, by the way. Hopefully that's also.
Once again, I need a translator for Wild Heart. It's a combination of the mic, my crappy hearing.
No, it's my fault. It happens a lot.
Okay, see,
it's
now
the broad accent. Yeah.
I understand that.
I was just saying, let me know if the echo continues. Hopefully.
Okay, I will let you know. Definitely, sir. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It sounds like somebody is sawing something.
Yeah, I hear that too.
I was wondering if you could hear that. That's a frog.
That's a
frog.
Yeah, okay. There's a frog somewhere close by.
Are they cane toads?
No, thankfully I don't have them here yet.
They
have made it into my state, but thankfully still much further north than I am.
I want to
know so far. It's only a matter of time.
I'm curious about the frog that's close by.
I think it knows we're talking about it because it just went quiet. It would be a little bright green tree frog.
Okay.
Yeah, we get lots of them.
So it's not a pet?
No.
And it's not a lover, despite what you hear about Australia.
No, it's essentially snake food.
Oh, right.
Tree frogs are often nice, bright, and colorful.
Yeah, if I see him, I'll snap a picture. These
Mm.
are like almost a fluorescent green.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stunning.
Well,
isn't that nature's way of telling you not to devour the thing that's brightly colored because it could be poisonous?
Hmm.
yeah,
Usually,
like a
yeah.
defense mechanism.
I know that's especially true in South America. They have all sorts of weird. They even call them poison dart frogs because the natives rub arrowheads on them to poison the prey
Oh,
and knock it out.
well, that's better than what I was originally thinking, which they were just throwing frogs
Oh,
as weapons.
I like that. That's a great idea.
I had a
MC frog.
dog that was like always licking the freaking toads around here, and it would make her salivate at the mouth. It was
Mm.
gross, and I would have to keep her away from them damn things.
Do you think the dog was getting high from licking the toads?
It is quite possible because anytime one of those were in the backyard, she would go after it, and she wouldn't kill it.
Yeah.
That
See,
is
what
weird.
I find even more fascinating than like the frogs that have evolved to be poisonous and stuff is the non-poisonous frogs that have evolved to look like poisonous ones.
Yeah.
Mm.
The mimickers.
Yeah, and when you think about that, there's no conscious drive in evolution, that this is like essentially a combination of thousands and thousands of coincidences. Mimicking is just, it's such a fascinating thing to me in
Hmm.
nature.
True enough.
Like cuttlefish, that scientists are trying to figure out how they figure out to disguise themselves or camouflage themselves because they have really poor eyesight. I think I'm remembering this correctly, but yeah, it is
That's interesting.
crazy. Like, what is it that triggers that defense? If they're not thinking about it, how does it come to that? Yeah, I don't know.
It's
It is something to wrap your mind around.
Mm.
I am no expert, but isn't it natural selection? Like
Right.
things just naturally evolve like a trait, and if it works, they keep it, and if it doesn't,
But I think that the question, if I'm not wrong, Tobin, correct me, is when we say as an answer instinct, but what the hell does that mean? How does this creature just be born and in like a bird goes and can weave a nest? It's never seen another bird weave a nest in its life. It doesn't watch its mother weave a nest, but it goes and weaves its own nest. Like
Of
that
course,
part, that
that is weird. Yeah,
maybe behavioral things can be instinct can be developed just as markings can. That behavioral evolution is just as much part of evolution as anything else. But it's just harder to fit your brain around it because if a bird is more likely to be black than white, you might think it would have better survival value.
Well,
But to have different behaviors emerge seems really, really weird to us.
I was talking with Phil Zuckerman,
mm,
who I forget which university he's out of, but Phil Zuckerman, he runs basically, I believe, classes in atheism or philosophical, underpinnings of atheism. And he was on the channel, and he's written a variety of books about godless morality, and there's definitely an instinctual drive for, just as like there's an instinctual drive for a lot of different things, a drive for the moral instinct, right? Something that you can see it with our cousins, right? About how there's a direct relationship between, how there's a similarity between chimpanzee, baboon concepts of justice, of compassion, that are very similar to how we interact with each other. Chris
Yeah, no
Ballard.
one really had to teach me. Like whenever I saw in junior high school, they showed us uh, people getting fire hoses turned on them, and like where they're getting hit with the billy sticks and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Nobody had to tell me, "Hey, you need to be depressed." I was. Whenever
yeah,
I learned about all that stuff, it depressed the shit out of me, and
yeah,
it was just no one had to teach me that. I
yeah,
just
yeah, dude.
was.
Um, Chris, yes, Chris. This is an early show because I have to go into work at 9 a.m. So now I'm doing the show. It's only for today and tomorrow. I'm probably taking Friday off to tell you the truth. But today and tomorrow, starting up the regular show at 7 and doing the open room at 7:30. What's up, Ian Davenport?
Me and
Yeah. So
Ian just started talking on Messenger.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
So that's what I say when Christians ask where do atheists get our morality? It's like the same place you do, you dumb nuts. You know, you just don't know it. You just falsely attribute where you get your morality to a myth.
Mm.
Again, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but we are a social species, so we naturally have empathy. We're born with it. It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
if we were highly evolved, or if we were intelligent platypuses, right, we would probably, which are more solitary creatures, we'd probably have a different kind of um, instinct for morality than, or if we were like it's super intelligent honeybees, we'd
Mm.
probably have a different sense of right and wrong.
See, for me though, it's like we're sort of dancing around the behavior thing though. Like I can even understand the evolution of consciousness. That that to me is basic. I don't know how Christians struggle with the idea of emerging consciousness. You know, things becoming more and more aware to the point where they become self-aware.
Yeah, yeah.
That's quite understandable. But how the hell does a bird pop out of an egg, jump out of its nest and learn to fly, and then go and weave this fucking unbelievable nest? That's not empathy. That's not a social thing like that.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
they
What
grew up
part
in
of
a nest.
evolution? Like,
There's got to be things that they've seen throughout their life, and then
Well,
like putting the pieces together are kind of there.
so that's interesting because there are different kinds of behaviors that animals definitely learn, like cats. If kittens don't learn how to do the killing bite, right, from their mom,
Mm.
then they're never going to, or they don't know it. They will play around with prey. Like I had a cat who never learned the killing bite from its mom, so it would just play around with mice. While other cats who learned how to do the killing bite, they just automatically know to go for the neck and to kill the creature that way. So there are definitely some behaviors that are learned, right? Obviously, and then there are some behaviors that are apparently just baked in. Well, there are predispositions for behaviors too, right? So maybe there's like three different categories: behaviors that are automatically baked in. Then you have like predispositions for certain behaviors, and we can see that with our fellow peeps, our peoples all the time. That people are definitely have predispositions for good or for ill of behavior, and then you have stuff that's totally learned.
Mm.
Right? Tragedy can make animals act different. There's a lioness in a park that um she lost her cubs, and then
Yeah,
after losing her cubs, she kept a she protected a little wildebeest, a baby
yeah,
wildebeest,
Mm.
and it happened on more than one occasion. But the other lions would eat it, and then cause her to be depressed again. And like I don't know, it's a
yeah,
trip. These
yeah.
pressures can make us either do things to the extreme of like really moral and really protective of things, to the other extreme where we just don't care. It's strange.
do, do
Well,
you think?
meeting up with my biological family over the last year, that has definitely shined some light on my own history and behavioral history too, about why I do things with, why I've made poor decisions in certain areas of my life. I think that there might be something baked in there, or at least a predisposition towards deviltry.
Mm.
Do you think that we might eventually discover some sort of genetic memory? Or is that too woo?
I don't think that's too woo. I think where the woo is where we aren't prudent about, what we don't know about, we can't really talk about, in a fact, in making assertions, right? So there's a lot of not, and the thing is, and here's the problem, and I'm just going to say the freaking obvious is that as soon as we start talking about genetic destiny of certain kind of behaviors, because we have such a shite history with scientists, or science being adulterated by racism, right? Science being adulterated by racism. That as soon as we start getting into these areas, it's like there's got to be a lot of yellow cards out there. There's got to be a lot of caution, because that which we think we know, or which we see in the data about genetics affecting behavior, it's like we got to be really cautious about it, because people love to make sweeping generalizations.
Mm.
And
like
that's dangerous.
DNA being called junk, like the junk DNA.
Oh yeah, the epigenetics,
and it's not really junk. There's still information there. We just don't know exactly how to interpret it. But there's a lot of people who are just like, oh, but there's junk DNA, and
I think that's because when they first discovered, they defined junk DNA as not coded for protein, and then they changed the definition later on. I think that's what confuses people. It's not. It does something, but it's just it just doesn't code for DNA.
Yeah,
I understand.
There's still a lot to learn.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. If anything, there's a lot of not knowing stuff, and we're just probably waiting for the machines to figure it out for us, right?
I was one of the shocking developments for me was CRISPR-Cas9, where I thought that this might be possible to do genetic engineering on live DNA, for lack of a better word, in the far off future.
Yeah.
But I had no idea that it would be around the corner, and that they would be able to go to the 1,686,000th something or other, and then edit the gene right there.
Paul Kamish,
you show up just before we start closing out the show, because I have to close up in a minute and a half because I'm working early today. How you doing, Paul Kamish? Ham.
Yeah.
I'm calling you Big Ham.
Oh yeah. Have you seen that? Have you?
I saw that. I pay attention to things that go on.
Yeah. Hey, I've just got off radio now. I've just been talking to a guy in Sweden.
Yeah.
I've done Italy. I've done Spain. I've done 17 countries altogether since I started. I've only been doing it just over 2 weeks. So yeah.
Whenever the internet completely craps out, you will be, sir, connected, because you have a ham radio. That's what you will be. No, my dad had a ham radio when I was growing up. He loved that thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do. I did it years ago. Not ham radio. I did CBs and other radios years and years ago. And it was literally just before Christmas. There was an advertisement for if you wanted to do like your foundation license, which is like your beginner's license for ham radio. You could do it all online. So I just did it all online, and I got it all done within 3 weeks. And then I'd already bought the kit anyway, because when I put my mind to something, I don't give up until I've done it. So I knew I was going to do it. So I bought the kit and whatever, and got my license on the 14th of December, and I literally got my license online. Got my call sign issued. I walked straight down to the shed, turned the radio on, and this is no word of a lie. The first call, I hit Spain. My second call, I hit Canada. I was like, this is amazing.
Very nice. All right. On that note, everyone, I got to get going. I got to get ready for work. So thanks a lot. Same time tomorrow morning,
Leeds.
7 a.m.
Just the
Thank you very much.
up there. Just the comment that just came up. What was it? Something about being Leeds or something?
Yeah, sorry.
I saw that, but I can't find it now.
Manchester, it don't matter.
Sound like
thank you very much
close
for
to
letting me
Leeds.
on. It's great to meet you.
Yeah,
Cheers,
he said,
thanks
I'm
a lot.
hopefully close to Leeds. I am. Leeds is literally 40 miles up the road. Well, 50
All right.
miles up the road.
I'll see you all later. Same time
Thank you
tomorrow.
very much.
everyone.
Great to see you all.
Take care.
Ta-ra.
Bye, everybody.